Well, there'll be time for that later. It's just we can't do that to open. Well, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to attempt to thread the needle here. We're going to talk Michigan State and the nonsense that's going on now. And then we're going to talk about the Lions. And then we'll go back to Michigan and Michigan State. And then we'll go back to the Lions. And reality is this. You have strong thoughts on either. You have, as Doug likes to say, open lines. Do what you want because there is no way I'm going to be able to make everybody happy at the same time.
Oh, no.
So let's start out with Michigan and Michigan State. Now, how do you want to do this? Because if I get going on it, I'm not going to stop, which then I'm unfair to you. So you could take the lead. I could sit here. But how do you want to dive into this?
Nah, you know what, Mike? Let's do what didn't happen on Saturday night. Let's just be adults about this. We can go back and forth. If you got something to say, you say it. To me, I saw this, and to me, it was a failure on so many different levels. There was a ton of mistakes made. And it's so much to unpack. It reminds me, you see the video and they start coming out in pieces and pieces. I'm trying not to really draw a conclusion until I see everything because I don't want this to turn into like this Duke lacrosse thing where everybody thought one thing and then, it was really the other way. So I'm trying to just kind of see it for what it is. I saw the most egregious thing I saw was the unknown MSU player hitting somebody with the helmet. There's just absolutely no place for that. I think for that, the NFL has set the precedent for that with Myles Garrett. Son, you're done for the year, and you better beg your coach and see if he'll allow you to come back next year. Plain and simple. The other incident that I saw, Matt Charbonneau's video, I think McBurrow in the tunnel. This is where I guess it does become party line. I didn't see this sense of urgency, but you know what? Maybe I saw it the same way the state trooper who was standing right there saw it, as this is players kind of going after each other, and then they tossed him out, and then they moved on. Then I saw the video of McBurrow running up the tunnel, leaving his team, not going to go sing Hail to the Victors and parade the Paul Bunyan Trophy. He went running up the tunnel with that. I see the video of the clown trying to rub Mel Tucker's head going up the tunnel. I told you a long time ago, man, it's no respect when it comes to this rivalry, and you saw it, and you're going to continue to see it. And I don't think that this is, okay, stop the world, and we now have to – we got to get people arrested. Okay, if whoever got hit with the helmet wants to go down that road, I can't stop you because that was vicious. That was an attack. I'm just going to be honest with you. But the pushing and shoving in the tunnel, if you go down this road, you can't go backwards. Because now if you're going to start arresting people for this, the next time somebody touches somebody in a tunnel, that's an assault and you have to go. To me, it feels like to me, Michigan went out there and said, hey, we want to do and say whatever we want to do and say. They played the full Karen role. If you get in my face, I'm calling the cops. But I'm going to say and do this, and you're going to sit there and you're going to listen to me. You saw that with the post-game comments of Blake Corum. I mean, we said, Mike, it's just toxic. Nobody wanted to see this game because we all knew how bad it was. But when I see this and I see it, I don't think that bringing the police involved in this is what you want to – I don't think that's the road you want to go down.
Well, considering, your basketball coach hit another man, or Jabril Peppers punched an Ohio State fan. That's on video. I digress. Let me help you out with this because it's cause and effect. First of all, no one's going to defend MSU players being suspended. Suspend them.
All right.
I don't have a problem with it. You do whatever you want to do. You want to throw them off the team. You want to put them in the gulag. Do whatever you want. But here's where it's party lines. And I mean it figuratively and literally. I compare Jim Harbaugh to the former president. And whether you love Trump or hated him, love Harbaugh or hate him, they're the same dude. And they're both brilliant in this tactic. They are always the agitator. They are always the aggressor. And then, when they are called out for that, they play the aggrieved, as Rico put it, call the cops, tell your friends, and then gaslight their opponents. Wait, You don't see it my way? You're insane. Here's the deal. Michigan's had 3 incidents in this stupid tunnel. You had security. There's state troopers there. We haven't seen all the video. You've got 4 suspended. Now, Emma, this is the best part. Harbaugh gets up there today. And, I mean, clutching of the pearls, acting like there was the Kennedy assassination. And, we need consequence. Great. 4 players were suspended before you had your morning eggs.
Well,
But here's the deal. Your players go in the media, and they talk ish. Your players go out there, and they stalk. They didn't just want to go celebrate. They wanted to get after it. You got Blake Corum up in the postgame talking about Tuck coming. All I saw was him running. You got fans putting your hands on Mel Tucker, and it all comes from your head coach. I talked to John Jansen on Sunday morning, and I said it to John. I said, John, the rivalry was never like this before Jim got here, ever. You want to say Mark D'Antonio with the it'll never be over and knocking Mike Hart's height might be the closest thing to it. Might be. But all I can tell you is this. MSU's won 10 of the last 15 years, and you haven't seen a single incident. Because MSU's more focused on, give me Paulie B, we're going to party.
right.
When you win, that's not how it rolls. You had an incident in 18 when you trashed the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
MSU never released the footage. You had the Spartan Walk and Devin Bush. You've had the Revenge Tour T-shirts and the parading of Paulie B and a damn near clash in that year. Guys, it's simple. There is no respect in this rivalry at all. It has reached a point where many of you who've listened to me for a long time, I've told you, I used to love the rivalry. I can't stand it anymore because it is pointless. Mm-hmm. It's pointless. MSU could win 100 of these, and the 101st time, there's going to be something that's going to happen. What I'm not going to do is turn this into something it's not. I am astounded at the reaction. And again, it's typical because this is mob mentality and it is partisan. But like for Michigan fans to act like this is the worst thing to ever happen in college football. You just had an incident with Penn State. You just had an incident with Ohio State. I just, you know what? You do whatever you want to do, but I'm not going to do the faux outrage. You're telling me that one MSU player should be put up on charges? Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. I don't even know who the hell the kid is. Bobby Crump or whatever his name is. Is that it?
I have no idea.
Is that the kid who was swinging the helmet?
No, because the video was so grainy. I'm sure they know who, but I tried to look to see if I could see a number, but I could not see a number.
You agitate, and then you cry foul when something finally happens. And you know what? I don't want to hear about somebody needed to take a poop. I don't want to hear about how somebody was getting treatment.
He was getting treatment.
No, he wasn't, and John Jansen agrees with me on this. No one is getting treatment. Running up that tunnel the minute MSU's running up, skipping up like Sound of Music. Stop. This is where it turns into a COVID argument. It turns into an election argument.
Oh, this is, everybody gets their 3x5 cards. Well, if you like this team, you listen to these people in the media. If you like this team, right, you listen to these people in the media, and it keeps getting perpetuated. It was funny because I did an emergency recording with Howard Griffith just now, and he was just saying, like, hopefully it'll go away. And I'm like, Howard, it won't. No. Because that chili pot will get stirred up before the game, October 21st. The referees are going to have to get control of that thing. And honestly, if you really want to do this, if the Big Ten came out and said, you know what, you two, go to your corners. See you in 2 years. You're not playing this rivalry game anymore.
You know what, though? Like, see, this is the overreaction to all of it. Didn't an Alabama player hit a fan 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Handle the situation. You want to call the cops, call them. You know what I don't need? The ratcheting up of the rhetoric. It's nonsense. I talked to Cookies about it this weekend, and Cookies is, he likes to shake his ass on social media. I see what's going on. All this is the playbook. Any situation you can turn into a narrative builder and tear down and go at MSU and demean MSU. Guys, don't you see it for what it is? Look at when the kickoff took place. That comment by J.J. McCarthy that he told ABC that they released, who the hell talks like that in a real rivalry? Nobody. So the bottom line is, this is exactly the way Harbaugh wants it. And MSU gave him what he wanted. MSU's guilty of taking the bait.
Yep.
Of giving him what he wanted, of reacting. And now, Harbaugh, being the brilliant manipulator that he is, he will spin this, just like Bo used to spin things, into a way to demean the university at large, buzzwords, culture, dangerous, disgusting.
Yeah, our kids were on the way to leave the game, shower, and go to a Bible study that night.
Exactly.
And these thugs from MSU with their thug coach, because trust me, David, I've seen some articles that honestly I lost respect for a lot of these people who I had high respect for. Like, wow, you went down that road.
See, and that's ridiculous from them. I see it from fans. I see it on the ticket text, but it should never come from a writer.
Right, like you went full Pontius Pilate and said, oh, the crowd is fired up. Give the crowd what they want.
You couldn't find that guy when Kanye Edwards was doing what he did, but Wojo's all over it this weekend. And you know what? It's okay, Bob. I get it. You want your plaque next to Angelique's. I get it. But why don't we just be honest about this?
Dude, the irony is James Franklin came out, and he was more prophetic than we all thought. And I remember a lot of Michigan fans was like, oh, he's just being soft. He's this, he's that. And he said, you better get a handle on this before it gets worse.
Oh, the simplest solution, I mean, you had state troopers there, and it's like you see, like, you know what happens if somebody yells cops? You stop what you're doing.
Yeah.
I didn't understand how a state trooper stood there. And again,
and I get the old security guard because he's old and he's probably just doing that to see the games for free.
Right. Maybe a little hot dog and a post-game meal. And again, I'm not absolving MSU, the 4 players who got involved with this nonsense. Throw them off the team. I don't care.
But if it's this egregious, then that state trooper has to be fired because you didn't do your job. You could have stopped all of this. If it's that bad, that's what you were there for. And you watched.
My overriding point is both sides are culpable at different levels.
Yes.
This rivalry is reaching a point where I'm telling you, you'll laugh at this, but it's getting dangerous. And it goes to the next level. I'm telling you, the next step is it bleeds over to the fan bases. You know, I have no desire.
Like reaching down and rubbing the head coach's head?
Well, again, I can't believe.
While the state trooper was right behind.
I can't believe a grown adult would do it, but that's fine. And then again, it gets twisted. Well, Tuck is swinging. Well, tell you what. Go out, touch a grown man in public that you don't know in an aggressive manner.
And by the way, yeah, it wasn't a kid doing it asking for an autograph. That was a grown man.
That was someone as old as you.
Yeah.
No disrespect.
Wow, okay.
You're mature and beautiful.
Thank you.
But no, guys, listen. You know what the problem is? This is the part of the rivalry I have no interest in. I'm being totally upfront with you. I'd like to talk about Michigan, their performance, and whether you think you can beat Ohio State based on the fact that you suck in the red zone. You know what I'd like to talk about? I'd like to talk about the fact you wanted to rub it in on State and you couldn't. Because Saturday night I watched Tennessee play Kentucky and show you what it takes to win a natty. They destroyed Kentucky with Georgia on tap. Virtuoso style. But see, we can't do that today.
Because Michigan, the cannon you wanted to launch Jay Johnson out of?
Right. Well, we can. But we'll have to do it Tuesday or Wednesday.
Right.
Because Michigan fans are clutching their pearls. This is their ability to go at State. State fans are acting like Mel Tucker should go Rambo and Machete. It's like you don't get it either. You cannot be the aggressor in this situation. Your players were wrong, and it's got to be handled.
Right.
The problem is it's never a two-way street. There's Michigan State's side, your side, and then the truth.